How's everybody doing this morning? Everybody's okay? Few minutes, we can talk some shit. Talk some shit before the morning. I know it's early wherever you are. Probably super early if you're in California or in Japan, like our friend Alex is. I think Alex, like the longest vacation ever. Good for him. Dr. G, what's up, dude? Always nice to see your face. Well, it's not your face, but I'm good with Biggie. Daniel G, you got it, buddy. Where you at, Daniel G? I get the sense that you're in the West Coast somewhere. Okay, Colorado. Yeah, good for you, man. Good morning to you. What do you think about shorts on the high flyer names? Yeah, I mean, I think we're definitely in like sell the pop mode on these. So I would watch for a pop and sell into it, right? Um, but definitely, there's a lot of uncertainty around these names. Um, yeah, like BE, watch that 200. There's a nice little gap below towards that 180. I would watch for an attempt to go red to green on these names and then just sell into it. Um, I think these could go lower. We got way too extended, but so the bigger kind of like driver today, so far at least from what I've seen, is that uh, let me get proper kind of read on this before I say too much. So the biggest headline today is that China's powerful new AI surprises investors. So it's putting pressure on AI stocks. Moonshot's new Kimi K3. Moonshot is the Chinese initiative, the Chinese government initiative to create AI. I guess better. It's basically their. It's like the space race, like who can get to better AI first. So Kimi K3 model rivals the strongest offerings from like OpenAI, Anthropic, ChatGPT, Claude. So that's creating concerns in this industry. So we're seeing a nice little decline in semiconductors this morning, and also AI tangent names. Uh, there's a Bloomberg Asian Semiconductor Index down more than 6%, and obviously futures are down as well. So the breakthrough underscores China's rapid progress in AI development, with President Xi Jinping lending his support to the country's push to become a global leader in artificial intelligence. There were talks that the Chinese were 6 months behind the U.S., and this is, I guess, sparking a little bit, concerns around that sentiment. That is what's putting pressure here, amongst other things. So SMH, for example, down 3%, almost 4%. Some of these are off the lows, I think. USO setup is not terrible. There's a nice little gap above to watch. We'll go through a few of these names. Netflix had earnings yesterday, as you remember. And there was a reason why this turn never happened, guys. Remember, I was watching this. I didn't add it at all. It wasn't acting the way I wanted to. 70 did hold, 75, 76 did break. We saw a bit of a push, but it got sold into. So for me, that's a bit of a warning. So we're back lower here. Yeah, I mean, I think this one could be a $50 stock soon. The 70 is important. If you can recover it, we can see upside. Otherwise, hands off. Yeah, I was talking about QQQ and SPX 50-day actually. QQQ looks way worse. We're actually breaking below this triangle that we talked about yesterday, if y'all remember. So we're breaking below this trend line. We're starting to do something similar in SPX. But we're starting to accelerate, guys, to the downside here at QQQ. At the open, watch for a pop. You often see a little bit of a kind of a rebalancing at the open. You get a bit of a push higher. Also, it's OPEX today, right? So something to keep in mind. So, a couple names, as you can see in the watch list that I'm liking. We'll go through them, but they're Apple, Google, USO, UNH, and V. Some of these names are catching a real nice bid, like Visa and MasterCard. They're attempting to break out of this really huge, I'm not going to call it bull flag, but definitely channel break to the upside. You can see the weekly looks like this. This is a pretty bullish weekly. Earnings still ahead though, so just heads up. But look at the weekly. It's attempting to break. We actually closed above the previous week yesterday. So yeah, financials, yeah, tricky. XLF is holding okay, but some of these larger banks are reversing, right? JPM pulling back, although looks better than GS in my opinion. I think some of the smaller banks, the regional banks, are looking pretty good. Look at KRE, looks pretty good as well. All right, good morning, everybody that's just joined us. I've been live for a few minutes here because I was around, and the prep today was very simple. So I said, why not? We'll just turn on the live and get that going here. Just talk a little before we get it going. I can see that Sarang is around, J Money's around. Welcome, welcome. J Money, I think you unmuted yourself. I just cannot hear you, sir.
Yep, I'm here. Good morning.
There. Hey, what's up? Sarang, mic check. Mic check. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hello. Cool. All right. So Mate's going to be out today. He sent out a message yesterday that he's taking the day off today. So I'm going to be driving together with JM, and Sarang going to be around. It is Friday.
OPEX Friday.
OPEX Friday. This is what the weekly chart looks like on SPX. Still not bearish, but definitely failing to break. We basically pushed above that trend line and just failed to sustain. What the hell is this screenshot here? What? You can see we popped above this trend line and failed. It's an inside week. Nothing bearish about that unless we start, and breaking last week's lows. That would be bearish. That'd be bearish. Oh boy, man, what a SPX 10-minute kind of run yesterday. I love those plays. I always trade them, but yesterday was really good and I missed it. This is one heck of a few candles.
Can we get
How's
today
your day?
something 10x?
Say it again.
Can we get some SPX trade today? Some 10x trade.
Hmm.
OPEX Lotto.
Yeah. We'll see, man. We'll see. I got my air conditioner on max and I'm still hot. Not good, guys.
I managed to get the fan.
Good idea.
2 weeks of waiting.
Yeah. It's hot over there, yeah?
I never realized last 10 years we never need a fan, So we
Right.
had one, but right now I'm trying to order something, but everything is like coming after 3 to 4 weeks.
There you go. That's a business right there right now. A side business, selling fans. Dude, I'm so American when it comes to air conditioning. The whole like non-AC thing. I talked to Spaniards here. Even talked to like some Americans that have been here for a couple of years and like are against ACs and stuff. Like, dude, sitting at home, like sweating your balls off, and like for what? Like if you're able to, why wouldn't you? But I guess we're all different.
Is the AC common in Spain?
It's fairly common. I mean, uh, it's more common, obviously, like commercially, and like if you have a nice house and stuff, like a lot of people do have air conditioning. Sometimes it's split air conditioning, so certain rooms have them, not central AC. Uh, so it's not as common as in the US. You do find it, but
Yeah.
people kind of like against them. Like they rather not have air conditioning, and if they do, it's like only if it's super super hot. Uh, I think they prefer fans or air conditioning. I have central AC. It's blasting full, very very comfortable.
I'm
So
not seen
knock on
at
wood.
least, especially a lot of part of the Europe, the AC is not common, but in India, like, you can't imagine without AC. US
Yeah,
also it's
yeah,
the
yeah,
same, I think.
yeah. For sure it is. For sure it is. And it depends. I get it. Like if you're in the northern Europe where it doesn't get hot often, like you can deal with like a couple weeks of maybe too hot weather, but down here in Spain, it's terrible. All right, guys. I think we should kick this off. So, good morning to everybody that's joined us this beautiful Friday, July 17th. It is 9:06 in the United States or East Coast. We're going to kick it off with JM. But before that, Matei is out today, so I'll be leading this. You are seeing my screen. And OPEX today, um, big gap down. So, it's going to be trickier today. So, probably just kind of give you the one liner of specifies down today if you want to trade today, and yeah, just preserve your capital, both mental and I guess financial. Okay, J Money, kick it off, sir. Good morning.
Good morning. Yeah, let's talk about it. Not an easy position to come into OPEX today after a big trend move yesterday and overnight. So we did trade as low as 74.50 on SPX in the overnight and actually fading back down there again. So the main thing is that we've been in this multi-day balance. We've talked about it a lot, and we failed the bottom of balance overnight for a long liquidation into new weekly lows Like I said, trading around 74.50. On a normal day, if this wasn't options expiration, obviously, you want to be short or try to be short as long as we're below the prior balance low, which is there kind of around 74.85, 90, that area, and look to short pops. Now, since we've had such a big move, we could get a little bit of mean reversion. There is a big gamma magnet at 75.15 to 20, so just be aware of that. The mechanics in the price action today could be affected by the big trend move ahead of options expiration. So just be aware of that. But typically, 75.15 to 20 is going to be the pivot. As long as we are below there, does favor continuation down, and that may be a big pin. It may be the pin today. We'll see if anything changes after the open. The main thing I would be, watching for maybe a failed breakdown of the overnight low for a little bit of a relief rally, towards that 74.90 or 75.15. And then I would probably look to be short against 75.15 and then see also, after such a big move down with really no relief bounce at all, if sellers, the main thing for sellers today is to defend where they need to on back tests. And if they're unable to do that, which typically is what we've seen so far, I would see this as mostly a long liquidation, which means that if sellers don't defend this with some actual uh, strength on back tests and they end up getting offsides, you can see a short squeeze. Like I said, it may be harder today with the options expiration mechanics, but above 74.90 could see a bit of a squeeze, and then above 75.20, there would be a larger offsides move. So those are the things to be watching. There's not really any great supports as far as gamma positioning below us. It's very, very thin, other than that 75.15 kind of magnet node. So I would be cautious buying the dip. You really want to see some sort of liquidity trap in order to be long. So that's where we're at, trading right around 74.50, right above the overnight lows at the moment.
Mhm. Yeah, thanks. Um, yeah, a couple of other kind of, uh, I guess, uh, data points that we can kind of take with us here throughout the day. The first thing would be that the 50-day moving average was broken here, and we're trading below it. That is at 74.70. And then the 20-day moving average just 7 points above that. Let's say we sweep overnight low. That could be a nice little magnet to look for short. If above 50-day moving average, 74.70, we might get that 75.20 pivot that you called out. And so considering where we are, if we do get that pinning action, 75.20, I mean, it's quite a distance to that, right? It's about 70 points up, which would be a really good opportunity, I think, to look uh, for. We'll see. Just zooming out here, guys. I was sharing this earlier with everybody. But we are, there's a trend line that goes across here on SPX from the all-time highs. I took it away. But if you draw a trend line like this, you can see that once we broke it to the upside, we saw some acceleration. We're back to that now. That should be around that 74, 75 or so. So we're kind of breaking that to the downside. There's also another trend line from these lows over here. If you draw it like so, uh, that is also kind of, you see a nice little point here in the middle where the 20-day moving average is around 74.80. So that if we open below, that's going to be resistance. But if above it, we can see that squeezy move to 75.20. So, we'll see what happens, but just kind of adding some layer of, I guess, technical analysis to the gamma that GM shares. So thank you, GM. Very short list of stocks that I would be interested in maybe looking closer than others in the watch list. No focus for me. Apple could be focused, but considering the overall market, like I think S&P is in play today. But starting with Apple, you can see that Apple is kind of trading in its own I guess, universe, pushing higher, not caring too much about, what the S&P is doing. For now, we're seeing initiation of this one-time framing to the upside. So it is prudent watch that previous day high for that continuation move. So that'd be around that 335. So watch 335 Apple for a move higher. There is a potential that we test the high and fail. If that happens, I would still not short this one. I think there are other short candidates out there that are better than Apple. Because a lot of people think like, oh, Apple is up so much in the last couple of days. I'm going to short it. That is not how it works. Unless it's up a lot and there's a catalyst, then maybe I would look for relative weakness. So Apple 335. Also, considering this structure, you can watch Apple for a dip buy if you don't want to play the breakout. But I do think the RSI is fairly reset here. But if we see a dip down to 332, and sweep of that 332 overnight low, watch for that turn. So that's Apple. Google does have a negative catalyst. Started yesterday with their Gemini tech being delayed and so on and so forth. So anything like that is negative, especially Google. I did have the 360 puts yesterday that I took a little scalp on, but could have paid a lot if I had held a little longer. I had a really poor entry. The idea there was that the headline was so negative that it doesn't matter my entry a little bit because I've seen it do this in the past, and it did a little dance first, and then eventually it started just pushing lower. And so we moved from almost 360 to 352 here, kind of one sweep as the market was pulling lower. So Google, I would watch for a front side for this one. We are below last week's low and the week before that low as well. So front side to that 350, 352 could be something. It would be a nice little kind of attempt to go green and then fail. So front side of Google, I kind of like 350, 352 for front side there. USO is looking pretty good on the daily. You can see that we do have a gap above. Some relative strength in energy, XLE, USO more specifically. So we'll watch this one. I likely won't trade this because I don't like trading USO unless there's headline or catalyst source. But yeah, above 122 is valid. So watch for that dip into 122. UNH gave back all the profits yesterday and ended up near the lows. And for this one, it's a simple day two continuation after that huge reversal. Let me move my chair a little bit. Give me a second. And so, this one obviously looked phenomenal at the open, pushed into the highs, and then failed. It was an ugly reversal. So let's see if I have the power to push below 420, 421. There's some support here in terms of in the form of the 20-day moving average. For this kind of day, you have to assume that's going to push through it. So keep an eye on it. Keep an eye on that 420. And then lastly here, Visa, V. Attempting for a red to green breakout move here, Visa. The weekly looks great. The monthly looks great. The daily looks great. So there's a larger kind of breakout here happening. We do have earnings end of this month, but it's showing some real nice relative strength. I kind of like that. It's just red here for that switch, red to green, and potential push towards 370 or so. In terms of the 10-minute chart, it's a little. I would like it to reset just a bit, maybe down to like 363s, and go higher. And then lastly, I just want to take a look at the VIX here. See that the VIX is higher, quite a lot higher here. Daily looks like this. So yesterday's lows, VIX was at 15. We're back to almost 20 here. So this is going to affect price action. It's going to affect prices in terms of what you're trading, how the premium is moving. It's also OPEX. Could be trickier price action at some point during the day. And then lastly here, we do have Michigan data at 10 Eastern Standard. Sarang, are you watching anything this morning?
Yeah, hey, good morning. So I'm watching a couple of names. I think since OPEX is there today, so I'll be trading only Lotto size today, very small size. From the catalyst trade perspective, we have two trade. Netflix actually reported earning, and we have a trending structure also, but the stock is literally dead, you know. So what I'm watching is below 65, 63 put on the Netflix. Second one, I'm watching ISRG also reported bad earning yesterday. The stock is gapping down 9-10%. So what I'm watching is 366, 367 area as a front side rejection, or maybe puts below 350 on ISRG. And on a larger time frame, you know, the stock is in the heavy downtrend. Again, we are seeing a 10% gap down. If we reclaim like 368 to 370 area, then it's no trade for me. But I'm looking only for downside trade on ISRG. And that's one. And third stock I'm watching is ASML. ASML actually had earning this week, and the stock is just doing back and forth. So we already, you know, all the bonds are getting sold off. So what I'm watching is this 1720 area on the daily, you know, it looks very interesting. 1715, 1720. So we have many touches on this one. So if we see some kind of intraday pattern on this one, let's say some basing around this one, and maybe in the second half I'll be watching. So these ASML stock generally move after the Europe market close because it's a European stock. So we'll wait for like Europe market to close, and then I will trade on this one. So below 1720, I'll be looking maybe Lotto size trade 1700 put targeting maybe 1680 on this one.
Mm.
It's on the SML. UNH is also a day to set up, but it's
Yeah,
tricky to trade yesterday.
yeah,
Yesterday we had a very tricky price action, so was
okay,
looking very bullish, capped up on the good earning, and then we reversed.
yeah,
Most likely it would could be the OPEX move. So let's watch the continuation below 423 on a
hmm
daily time frame. The 423 level is key, where we had a nice basing on that one, and then we break out. So if we break below 423, I would say 415 can come very easily, and
yeah,
potentially lower on this one.
yeah. I'd be
Those are the
cautious
name.
if it moves back above 440 on that one. That'd be hands
Yeah,
off. Yeah,
so
yeah,
tricky
I
name.
yeah, yeah. When you get that kind of like reversal from yesterday, just assume that you might see that continuation attempt. So it could be a nice little short, but yeah, we'll see. Trickier name.
Yeah, that's all from my end.
Cool. Thank you so much for that. Um, we have 9 minutes to go here. Great. Tesla. Tesla saw a nice little kick save yesterday, but gapping down. Harder name, guys, but watch. Google gapping down quite a lot. I like that continuation move, but yeah, the trade was yesterday, in my opinion. Today, we'll see. We'll see. Front side, maybe. Meta just gave it back. 200-day moving average at 640. Meta could be a nice little kind of bounce play. 0 DTE.
Meta has a gap fill also, Space Monkey. I think
Yes.
around 630,
Yeah.
633 area. Yeah, that's the alert I get for Meta 633 gap fill.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. We'll see what happens. It's a lot of support around the 642. Remember this was the top of this bounce area, and then we gapped up above it. Now we're back testing it. You have the 200-day there. You have the 9-day moving average there. The 9-day is actually spiking to the upside now above all the rest. So that for me is a sign of a potential new trend to the upside, but price action is tricky. We do have a gap below, so we'll watch. We'll watch. All right, let's do a few names here and then we'll get ready. APP. Software is catching a bit of a hit today. None of the software names look great. Crowd back to 200, keeps coming back to 200. Some of the other ones, obviously, Nets gapping down, PANW gapping down. PNW is gapping down less, so this could be one to watch for red to green, maybe lead the potential turn. But yeah, nothing. Monster gapping up. Yes, beverage stuff, little low beta stuff. Yeah, like KO. So a little rotation, right? KO is up. I think Walmart was up, gapping up. Target had a headline yesterday, is up too. So clearly we're seeing a little bit of rotation. HD looks pretty good too, right below the 200-day moving average. So definitely is rotational play. LOW here also gapping up. TAP. And I mean, if it holds previous 2 days, then it's a potential hold here. But there is a big magnet down here. I think we could probably move down to 150. All right, I think I'm done, guys. I don't want to do requests. I'm gonna get ready. Damn, ES broke the overnight lows. Mother flipper. Jam sitting there quiet, watching the failed breakdown like a little hawk. I see you.
Good morning. We got ES -1 right here as well, Space Monkey.
Yeah, dude, I like this turn here. I just don't have ES to trade.
It's a big spot. So that's 74.85 on ES. And that translates to roughly 74.50 on SPX. J Money's probably eating pizza, 10 lots in. I don't know if you guys mentioned it too. I know somebody in the chat, but you mish at 10 Eastern.
Mm-hmm. Yes, we did. I guess let me sign into my broker. Let's try that today. I guess we could just say it here once so I don't have to keep repeating. I'll likely size down today, unless I specify something else. So my small trades today are pretty much lotto size. There's really no reason to size up in this atmosphere, in this environment. So, and lottos for me are size, so I'm okay with them going to 0. Doesn't mean that I will let them go to 0. It just means that you should assume that I'm okay if I feel like it, let them go 0. Things don't play out. So just say that here so I don't have to repeat myself. So there's no reason to really do too much damage today to your account if things go sideways. That's why we do it. I'm pretty active as a trader. Like I like when things move. It might not be right for everybody, but I like the in and out kind of plays. quick trades, and it might be hard to follow along. I think it's fine. It's okay. I get it. I have to trade the way I trade, but I always try to give heads ups and let you know what's up. So if you like to trade like that, that's good. Otherwise, you can always sit on hands. You can ask questions. I'll be happy to answer any questions in live too.
Also, keep in mind too, if you're not, comfortable trading 0 DTE, you can always buy more time. Still, the percentages will be a little bit different, but gives you a little bit more flexibility and lack of volatility.
It's definitely a scalp day today, unless. Well, for me, it's always a scalp. Like for me, I'm scalper first, unless the environment is trendy and we can. But even then, like I like to take profit, because if I take profit, I'll do okay. I'm okay with catching 80%, 100%. Some people like to see the 500-600%, which I do too, but I'd rather just take base hits. Really breaking down here. All my trades will be small. Let me just send this out so people say, "Oh, I wasn't on live." Trying to make sure everybody's like protected, before we get going. All right, 20 seconds to play. UNH, nice little turn here. Nvidia, pretty nice bid here.
Yeah, this 202, 203 area, you have that as a pretty big spot for NVIDIA, right?
Yeah, I do. 203, yeah.
QQQ minus
Keep an
1
eye
is
on Apple.
690.95.
Keep an eye on Apple here, guys. It did a quick little push below and recover. Also, SPX, if you want to scalp it, watch those 75.10s, 75.20s at $3. If it puts in a failed breakdown here, you can see 7,500 easily.
7460, some gamma resistance. So that opens up the upside, but be careful being long right into it also. Best to be long above it.
Right. Yeah, good stuff. Okay, watch Google here. It's pushing into that 350 area. Something to watch. Tesla, huge hammer bar. UNH is actually breaking higher. So UNH, see if it has the energy to push. Otherwise, this pop could be shorted, but it's harder here. This is the top of that previous range that we were in before yesterday's gap up and go. SPX 50-day moving average at 63, so right around that 60 area, gamma resistance. UNH pretty strong here, testing the top of this range here. That could be short, guys, UNH. Anybody took that short? UNH, nice little 433 short. Just calling it out. Oof. Tesla back to 376. I think big area there on the daily, if I remember it correctly. 379, right? And then 367 is what I'm thinking about. Yeah, UNH, nice scalp there. Scalp above that area, guys. 433, 435. Forget about it. You can't short it. Pretty thin, this tape, isn't it? Big position above, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's very thin. That's what I was saying. I'm waiting to see if something develops, but there's just no major positions below us at the moment.
Yeah. Apple looks good, guys. Apple is trying to go red green. Will they let it? I don't know. Wow, Nvidia is on ATR 200 level here as well. Yeah, that attempt to recover overnight lows failed miserably there. So we're breaking ATR here, aren't we? Yes. Yes, we are on SPX as well, actually. Around 55. That's not great. Microsoft relatively strong here. Apple's strong here, guys. All right, IWM catching a bit here. Q's heavy, heavy, heavy. Watch Microsoft 400 to be watched. Microsoft wants to push. UNH now hands off shorts. You got to be careful with this. Could be an upside mover. Eli Lilly, nice move. XLV, real nice move. Apple, real nice move. Yeah, I don't feel comfortable chasing Apple here, but we've been calling the relative strength there. UNH, keep an eye on UNH. This one could come back if it could break above here. See this daily here, pivot. HD moving. HD breakout. If you like a scalp here, 7,500 is what I would do on SPX. I think it's a little extended. Might see like ATR back test soon. I would have my stop below a day. It would just be a scalp, but I'm seeing some good things here around. So see that turn, guys? You could trade that. You could scalp it. IWM looks good. IWM could be first to go red to green. HD breaking out. Target breaking out.
ES above
Walmart.
-1.
Yeah. This is a failed breakdown kind of area to watch. So above ATR and then recover 7491 or so could be something failed breakdown overnight. I don't hate it. I might take it. Anybody caught that scalp, guys? Called it out for everybody. It's one of those where, yeah, those are up from, I was looking at 280. They're 4 and change here. So that's your ATR back test. We'll see what happens there. IWM going almost green here. WMP +1 ATR. That pop got sold into. Apple has overtaken Nvidia to become the most valuable company in the world. Anybody, UNH called out the downside, the upside there, breaking higher. This one could move to 450. $73.90 positioning, 74.50 above rejection area.
So Space Monkey, big spot being VIX 1850. That's that big VIX pivot that I've been watching over the past several months, which happens to be +1 on VIX. So if we see that, if we see VIX crush underneath 1850 and you see S&P reclaim 54, you can probably start seeing a pretty violent move to the upside, or at least some more buyers step in. So something I'm watching.
Hmm. Very thin tape, guys. The only thing you can see in terms of gamma, 74.50 is your rejection area, potential short, which I think we kind of tested earlier. Above that, we could move higher, probably towards that 50-day area. We do have positioning opening up below us, which could act as magnets. Way too early to say at this moment, but very, very thin. And I think we're in suppressive light environment, right, Jay, if you're on?
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
It's stronger than normal, below 74.50. It starts to get lighter if you clear there. But it's much heavier than typical start of the day. So above 74.50, could see a little pop here.
You can see plus 15 upside here, maybe 10. IWM is likely going red to green first. If we do start seeing that, I would start watching the other ones, see if we can get some nice moves to the upside there. All right, I think we can see a push higher here. Yes. We can flip this. It's way too early. I like that low when you get that first candle low. You want to see that turn and you can scalp it. So 7500s are up nicely still if you're still in it. If you took. Okay, interesting. Hey, in terms of gamma and OPEX, like, um, is that something we need to think about at this moment, or is like the open kind of done with, and we just have to wait towards the end for that next wave?
Yeah, we already had the AM expiry, so
Right.
other than the
Okay.
fact that just the majority of positioning is kind of reshuffling, rebalancing, the next one is at the end of the day, but
Right.
you still tend to have just price action that's more about options that just expired and then putting on new positions, for the next quarter and all of those types of things next month. So, but in general, the AM expiry already happened before the open.
Thank you. Is the 50-day moving average in my charts is the red line. We recovered the -1 ATR. VIX, I don't know what VIX did. I don't know if that lined up with what you were watching. We're right there, I think. John. So yeah, this could see a little bit of a push here potentially. I think my best call out was the SPX 7500 at 290 or something. They're trading at 550 here. Yeah, we're actually above the 50-day moving average here. We got those 15 points. There's some resistance here. ES 7506 is the yellow line on my chart. Must be important. Otherwise, 7520.
VIX right at the +1, almost going under.
Yeah.
Yep, 7470, next little resistance spot. Clear 7470, and it gets thinner above there again to 90. So that's 15 points above 7450. Clear 7470, you can get another 15 to 20. Need to defend 7450 on a back test now.
We have data in 5 minutes. Oh, damn, Q's coming back nicely. Nice, Bisbee. Beautiful entry there. It's pretty thin, guys. At this moment, I don't see much here towards 7,500. I know that's 70. I see it too, but with this
Yeah, so
data, we could just like,
here's that big VIX spot. If we see it bounce here and +1, you can see S&P reject downwards. So far, we're like in a very, this is the best worst spot. If Q's just above -1, S&P just above -1. Now we just see what happens. I'm still, you've been saying it too, Space Monkey. It's like see profit, take profit conditions. This isn't swing territory. You could possibly think about some shares here with tighter stops, but I would be cautious with swinging options.
kind of want to short this thing. It's turd. Nice fail breakdown. Nice long.